In the house with us right now, man, we got a legend in the building, man. A&R, entrepreneur. I mean, so many other things we can just say he does.
A to Z.
Right. And so many other things that we're going to talk about, man, in entertainment, man. Steve Lobel in the house, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Man, thank you for being here. We appreciate
it's a pleasure.
You being here, man. We was talking a lot of things off air and just dropping gems left and right, man. And one thing I just kind of want to start off with, you from Queens. I mean, everybody knows that, man. But getting
he don't hide it.
He don't hide it at all, man. Straight New York
got
cat.
New York everything.
No, everybody should never forget where they come from.
Absolutely. But as far as getting into the game, man, you got your start with Run DMC, Russell Simmons, and everything from there. But prior to that, what was Steve Lobel doing before this? Because hip hop was something at that point that people didn't know what was going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just this new thing, this new fad that obviously took over. So in your mind, man, what was going on prior to hip hop with Steve Lobel?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having me at Homegrown Radio.
Thank you.
And happy birthday to Rakim.
Absolutely.
Today's his birthday, the legend,
48.
the God. And I'm so blessed, it's disgusting. I love that right there.
Shout out to Letty.
And rest in peace, Jam Master Jay and Eazy E. But, basically, I'm a consistent brand. I don't switch up on any interview or anything I do, so I stay consistent. So it might sound repetitive when I do interviews, but I have to stay consistent.
Absolutely.
I'm from Queens, New York, and I never forget where I come from. And wherever you're from, you should rep your city. Mm-hmm. And I come in the game through the late, great Jam Master Jay of Run DMC and Run DMC. Right. Started off carrying bags. They put me in the music industry and mentored by Russell Simmons. So I was around the early Def Jam days, the Rush Management days, which, Rush Management managed everybody from EPMD to LL Cool J, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. And then Def Jam had it back in the days, Third Base and the Beastie Boys and LL Cool J, but Run DMC was signed to Profile Records. So I was blessed to be around all that. The Leo Cohens and the Kevin Lyles even was like an intern. And I just ear hustled. I was a young kid just from Queens, and I started going on road with Run DMC, carrying bags and just doing anything I could do. But I didn't know if it would, pay the bills or what really my position could be, and I was still young. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, let me go open up some bars in the hood, in the clubs. So I opened up that, and I would be near St. John's University, and Chris Mullen and Mark Jackson and Onyx and Run DMC, everybody would come to my bar. Pepper Johnson from New York Giants, like, back in the days. And then after those years, I got into a car accident. And then I got a gig at Sony as an A&R, radio promotions, retail promotions, when retail stores were open. And I got to work with 8-Ball and MJG because we gave Tony Draper, Suave House, a distribution deal, Ruthless Records, Eazy E's label, Fat Joe, Common Sense, which everybody knows is Common.
Through
Relativity Sony, yep. And, Frankie Cutlass, MOP, the Beatnuts, and the list goes on, So that's how some of the story is.
Now, but prior to all of that, because you just laid down a whole foundation and history of who you are, what you do, and that's incredible. But prior to that, like, what were you interested in back in the day? Like, what was the mind of Steve Lobel before meeting the Jam Master Jay?
What did you want to be when you
That's a
grew
great
up?
question.
What did you want to do? Who were you at that point?
That's a great question. To be honest with you, I didn't know who I was. And you're young, so you have to go through different choices in life and decisions, and sometimes you make good decisions, sometimes you make bad decisions. I started shoveling snow and raking leaves and delivering newspapers at 9 years old. My father told me if I wanted to make money, I got to go work. So I did that.
So you had that hustle mentality early
and
on.
on the East Coast, you could shovel snow and rake leaves, and you could make some money. And then from there, I started washing dishes in restaurants, bussing tables, waiting tables, just working for everything, just hustling. And just trying to, I was infatuated, I guess, with the dollar, with the money. I didn't go to school. I wasn't able to sit in class, and I always wondered why. But every morning I would have a Snickers bar and an orange soda, and the sugar rush had me going.
We were talking about the addiction to sugar before, so it started off at an early age.
So
how old were you when this was happening?
Man, like 9 years old, 10
So when you say you didn't go to school, you mean like you didn't go to to grade school?
Once junior high school started coming, I couldn't sit in class.
Wow.
Man. So the dean was like my grandmother because they always calling me to call my dad. And then, high school, I just couldn't sit in high school. I would always leave and hang out, and I would want to just go try to get some money and work and stuff like that. And I got arrested when I was 13. I was in spot for juvenile detention in New York, and for something I didn't do. So I got to experience something I didn't want to experience.
Now, did you really not do it, or were you around some other people?
I really didn't do it, you know. But at the end of the day, like, it was a good experience. Like, everything in life, I guess, is an experience to me. And I was just a hustler, and I was just a people's person, and I was a go-getter. And any opportunities knocked, I kicked the door open, and you go out and go get what you want. You know, I got a deep story from even the street game. You know, like my man Bimmy from the Supreme team, who's Walker's uncle. You know, like the Fat Cat and the drug stuff back in the days in the crack game, selling beers at the San Gennaro feast with the mafia. You know, just different things. You know, I've been involved with a lot of different stuff, and I'm blessed, man. I'm still alive, and I'm going strong.
Now, when hip-hop came around, what was your introduction to hip-hop?
Sucker MCs, Run DMC, you know, 98.7 KISS or BLS played it, you know, and, man, shit, Sugar Hill Gang, going roller skating, and Africa Bambaataa, and just, you know, just amazing. And, you know, I always knew that was going to stay, and Russell Simmons always said it'd be around. A lot of people thought it was a fad, but I was into rock and roll too. I used to scalp tickets for like Aerosmith, the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin. So I would sleep out.
Definitely.
I would sleep out to get tickets. Huh?
What haven't you done?
Man, shit.
You scalp tickets and shit.
Yeah, I've done a lot.
Wrigley's.
I've done a lot.
Shoveled
And
snow.
honestly, I mean, I had a hot dog stand. I had restaurants. I had bars.
Okay, this is what I want to
wash dishes.
I mean, we know. I know.
Cleaned horse manure.
I know you forever, but I always wanted to ask you, like, what the hell made you get into hip hop? Like, what was the one thing that made you get into hip hop?
I guess it was Run DMC, like growing up around them.
So did you want to, at that point, because obviously from the Queens connection, did you have experiences running into them, or you was like, no, I'm set out to meet them?
Man, no, I mean, I grew up with them, but these are great questions. But like, I can go back. I had an afro.
Word?
I used to wear Adidas. I had a boombox. Yes.
You had an afro.
Yes. I'll send you that.
I gotta see
throw it
that
up.
for real.
And, you know,
I
it's so
got to
funny.
see
Yeah, but at
that.
the end of the day, truthfully, like you when you're brought up in something, you're somewhere. A lot of people say to me like, "Yo, why you think you're Afro American or black, or why you think you hip hop and stuff?" I look at them like, "You're so ignorant." Because I hate people who stereotype people. I hate racist people. I hate people who judge people for their color of skin. But you grow up in something and it stays. Like people who know me all my life are like, "Damn, you're still in Adidas, so you're still the same. You didn't change. You still look the same." So, like, I can't. So I guess it was growing up in it, being around it. But remember, hip hop came in the 80s.
Right.
So obviously I'm born in 65. I am 50. I know I look 30. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
at the end of the day, like, what was I doing? Like, what was I listening to when I was 9 and 10? I wasn't listening to nothing.
Right.
But when I got to like 11, 12, 13, 14, I was listening to like rock and roll. But I was really just trying to learn so I can go scalp the tickets.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then obviously I just told you, like, the hip hop, the Sucker MCs came out. Or, you know, LL came, and then PE and Beastie Boys, Third Base even. Third Base became before that. So I'm like, wow, what is this?
Yeah.
And it was cool, you know? I loved it. So, you know, I loved hip-hop. I love Frank Sinatra. I love Luther Vandross, rest in peace. So, you know.
Did you ever take a stab at trying to become a rapper?
No, I mean, if I rapped, I'd be dangerous. Why? Because I have business in me.
Okay.
A lot of rappers rap, but they're not
Okay.
about their business.
Right.
So I have all the other package. And you know what? I
never
should
thought
try
about it, though? You never,
Right.
never
laid a
tried?
verse?
Like, I want to drop
I
these
never wanted to
bars.
rap. I never wanted to produce. I didn't. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. I just wanted to do business. I wanted to really make the money.
Got it.
You know, with all these corny rappers out now, maybe I should take it. You know, I got dope producers. I got dope producers, dope writers can write something. But I think the only thing I might have said once was like Big Black Blazer, Strong, the Hellraiser.
Yeah, I knew he had. I'm about to say, I knew he had a couple
Somewhere,
bars in him somewhere, man. 'cause
So that's you know. There's no lingering Steve
that
Lobel like.
Look at that hair.
he got an afro.
Let me
Oh, that's
see
not,
that.
that's not even afro though. I got afro, but that's not an afro.
Wait, let me see that.
That's not an afro, but I
that's
had
the
hair.
afro picture right.
But you
Yo.
know, I lost all my hair because all the rappers stressed me out over the years. You know.
Man, nah, I mean, and that's so dope. I love the history. I love the foundation. One thing that I was kind of thinking about on the way up here is I hear a lot of people say what hip hop was at the time when it was around. Like when it came around, everybody was trying to figure out what this is, what's going on. And the only comparison that I can think about it now, maybe you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, is like kind of compared to the internet now. Like when the internet first came about, people were like, what the hell is
What
this?
is this?
And then
What
it
the hell is
totally
the internet?
revolutionized everything that's been going on in terms of like everything that we do now. Is this any type of comparison to that? Can you kind of, my thing is like people that are listening right now, we got teenagers, we got
For real.
new artists that's coming up that's listening. They don't know what that means to live in a world without hip hop. I know what it is to live in a world without internet, so I can kind of compare that.
Right.
In terms of hip hop, like how would you compare the world without hip hop versus the world with hip hop?
Well, these are great questions. It's like living in a world without a cell phone. It's like living in a world without. It's like living in a world without a ringtone. Remember, ringtones were huge. It's like living in a world without a remote control television or something. Different things.
So I'm on the right path then.
Yeah,
right?
you're on definitely the right path.
Right, you are.
And then you're right. The younger generation that's probably listening to the show don't know nothing but hip hop.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's why. I think that's why. Honestly, I think that's why you have a lot of rappers now that just take it for granted. They just start off in doing hip hop or rap. It's not even hip hop; it's rap.
Rap.
And they don't understand the essence and the history of it.
Well, the new generation is taking everything for granted.
Yeah.
They just want to push a button. They're very lazy. But let's take it back. And we come from the cassette days, or doing a retail run and going to city by city and touching like 6, 7. 10, 12, 15 retail stores and going to an in-store and putting up posters and giving out T-shirts and flyers and, taking an artist on a promo run and going to radio and bringing vinyl for the mix show DJs and college radio DJs and, so on and so forth. And there was no MP3 and there was no YouTube and there was no like cell phones back then. So, you can go from that really hand to hand trying to break an artist or even signing an artist was different. Now it's like, okay, let's press a button and let's hope we get some eyeballs or hope we get some followers, So I just think that the internet's been a gift and a curse. But, at the end of the day, like when hip-hop came, people laughed. Like, this is going to be a fad. I believe hip-hop is about 43 years old. I know it turned 40 a couple of years ago. And Russell Simmons was a big part of it. He was a visionary. And he took chances with a couple other people, and it's here, and it's a culture, it's a lifestyle, and it's a worldwide thing. The only thing I don't like about it is that I have a slogan like "Hip Hop Don't Know You," and say you're a white rapper and you got your pants off your ass and a fake chain, and you're saying the N-word, and you from like Beverly Hills Rich, and you think you rap, but you don't know who the fuck Third Bass is or the Beastie Boys. Hip Hop don't know you. You're from the Midwest, and you don't know Proof from D12, rest in peace, or MC Breed or the Dayton Family, which I worked with. Hip Hop don't know you, and you're from the West Coast, and you don't know what MC8 or you don't know who the fuck, or Eazy E was until the movie came out. Hip Hop don't know you. From the Bay, and you don't know like Humpty. Or fucking, Mac Mall. Mac Dre, Mac Mall. I worked with Mac Mall too. Or Drew Down. Hip Hop don't know you. From New York and you don't know who Rakim is or Slick Rick or Marley Marl. Not Marley Marl from Love and Hip Hop, who's my man. You have to learn the business, learn the culture, learn who's who, learn the history, especially the business. Everybody out here selling their soul just to have some fame or followers. A couple of years ago, they would sell their soul for a check and sell their mother down the river. But this new generation just has to really know the business.
You were speaking about something before we got on air, man, about how artists broke their music or how music got broke back in the day. You were talking about how you were responsible for getting Bone Thugs and Harmony. Was it that record?
Yeah, we were talking about, not me responsible, but the team was responsible at Relativity Records with Music Box, the video Music Box, you control the box television. And, we had a marketing team and just kept calling and broke the record that way, and everybody else jumped on it, and it blew up. And then obviously, like I told you, Ruthless Records was distributed by Relativity Sony. Eazy E was there, and they brought them to New York, and the rest was history. But, remember, Eazy E had At Band Clan, which was Will I Am. He had Bloods of Abraham. He had BG Knockout and Dresta. He had so many. And then, Straight Outta Compton movie when Cube ran into Eazy or Eazy ran into Cube, I was there. Not in the movie, but I was there in real life.
Right, the tunnel, man. But we see, I'm jumping all over the place, and I definitely want to get there. But my point is, what's the way, because a lot of, again, artists that are listening now or just people that are listening now, what's the new way of getting broke? How does an artist get broke in 2016? You talked about sniping, and people don't know what sniping is. Putting up posters and hand-to-hand combat, calling up the box. But nowadays, how does an artist get broke in 2016?
We can curse, right?
Yeah, come on.
Hell,
well, obviously, selling their soul.
That's one way, right?
But, look, man, it's like these major labels, like, look, 10 artists can get signed, and 9 of them never come out.
Right. That's true.
It's a tax
write-off.
Or they get shelved. And one might come out, but, then you start losing your creative control. But you know, you were independent before you were major. But remember, back in the days, Too Short was independent, E40 was independent, 8-Ball and MJG was independent out the trunk, Scarface and them. So it's a different independent game. But to break an artist these days, and there's so many, every couple of months there's a new artist. I just met this kid, Little Dicky, and he's big. And, you know, Currency's doing his thing. And, you know, so many different people doing certain things. And Freddie Gibbs is on the come up. But these people have been grinding. But you could use the power of the internet and get your stuff on a you know, Spotify or SoundCloud, and these young kids these days are really searching, and they have the patience, and they find certain things, and they start liking things, and that's how things get broke. And it's an easier way, but then again, there's a lot of competition. It's like being a model. Yeah. You know, I thought a model was like Elite, Ford, you know, Wilhelmina, doing runway, print. Everybody's a model now with a big butt, fake boobs, and tattoos. Right. Because Instagram, they got millions of followers, but you got legendary artists that got 30,000 followers that sold 40 million records. So it's a free-for-all. There's no rules. But I think that really steps out is great music. The music will speak for itself. So, like, DJ Head's a DJ, right? You're a DJ. So at the end of the day, you're going to find stuff that you believe in, and you're going to be a leader, and you're going to try to break that. And everybody will gravitate to it. So I think it's a gift and a curse because it's so saturated out there. But it's going to make you different. Right. A lot of artists are following the trend. Skinny Jeans following it. This is in, I'm in. Like, just be yourself. Make music that's yourself. You know, find a great producer. Do like what Mustard and YG did or Timbaland and Missy did. Create a sound. Build it up. Don't follow what's going on at the moment. And that's why I like Troy because he's like, I'm not from Atlanta. I'm not getting trap music. I'm not getting strip club music. I'm from New York. I'm rapping on street New York music. So if you stay who you are as an artist and stay true to yourself, people will gravitate to it and find it with the power of the internet, you know?
What's the fine line of staying true to yourself but at the same time not stepping outside the box?
Well, you know, I come from loyalty, integrity, principles, and morals, and a lot of people don't got that. So it's very hard for someone to stay true to themselves. Because people get so influenced or pushed or peer pressured or want to fit in instead of fitting out. If someone's going left, I'm going right. And that's why I still love and respect Nipsey and always will, because he knows who he is and he's always who he is. He don't change. He knows who he is. And a lot of artists don't know who they are even before they get on. Once you find out who you are as a person, then you can be yourself as an artist and then go from there. So like I say, don't be a follower, be a leader. Don't follow a trend, set a trend. And just do different stuff. Be creative. Be innovative. Just don't jump on a bandwagon because you see that person doing it.
Well, I think what happens is, and again, I see artists a lot of times like try to do something different and it falls on deaf ears, so they get discouraged and say, oh, well, this isn't the new wave. This ain't that thing.
Because it's not real. And people know when it's not real. Like, you could be talking, you selling crack and busting guns and you in and out of county, but you never even seen none of that.
You're a college student.
And people going to find that out. So just be yourself. If you're a geek, be a geek. And there's geeky rappers that people love. Just be yourself. And I'll be myself at all times. I'm not changing for nobody. Nobody. I don't care about fitting in. I don't. But that's just me.
Now, back in the day, they had artist development, and nowadays they don't have it at all. How important do you think artist development is in this industry?
I mean, I thought it was very, very important. From showcases, from bringing an artist down to How Can I Be Down or Jack the Rapper or Mixed Show Power Summit, rest in peace to Justo, to Urban Network, to Impact. We were talking about that off air. You know, to record labels spending money on promo items, to really pushing an artist, and now these days. You're lucky if the label's really spending money or putting you on a promo tour and, you know, getting you out there shaking hands, kissing babies, hugging people, doing meet and greets, doing, you know, sit-down lunches and stuff. There might be a few left doing it, but it gets charged back to the artist anyway. And the artists don't even know that half the time. So, you know, and, you know, putting an artist on the road and getting in a promo tour and a promo run. So artist development was the only way to do it back in the days, and they stopped doing it now because they feel like they don't have to. And if someone would just be a leader and try to do that, maybe more artists will sell more records and the industry could change a little bit more instead of everybody just putting out the music for free. And the only way you're making money as an artist these days is publishing, merchandise, and show money, and then the ancillary stuff. But the most important thing in the industry at this day is a songwriter. Because most of these people are not even writing their own stuff, and you know, everybody's looking for a hit, you know?
Speaking of like beef and shit like that, man, obviously, you know, Fat Joe is somebody you've came up with, you know what I'm saying, do a lot of work with.
Real one. And
you just spoke about 50 being a real one as well, man. So, man, when that whole situation went down between them two, what was your position?
Man, I'll be honest with you. Man, Well, first of all, Jam Master Jay discovered 50 Cent.
Exactly.
Boom.
And, Fat Joe's like my brother. I introduced him to his wife, and we've been through a lot together. And when that beef went down, that was real beef. But unfortunately, or fortunately, fortunately, they never ran into each other.
Right.
That could have got ugly.
Yeah.
Trust me when I tell you. And I was so happy that they finally made up.
Yeah,
It meant so much to me, and they made up in Miami. Joe rented a boat or his yacht, and they went out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they
Nice.
made up. And
It's
there's
because,
a picture
Chris
circulating.
Lighty, right? Because-
No, not because of Chris Lighty. They came on stage for a Chris Lighty tribute in BET Awards.
Gotcha.
And that's still, motherfuckers were on point because everybody was on point that day because you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a crazy story real quick. I went to MTV Awards and they asked the Outlaws to come represent for Tupac, and we brought the Outlaws, and they was so real that they couldn't take the beef with Puffy was going on and Biggie, that when they went to sound check, they went at Puff, and we all got escorted out the room because Napoleon from the Outlaws tried to really grab a mic from Puff. So that beef was real. But when I saw that picture and I got that call that they talked, it was amazing. And there's a picture going
For
around.
you personally?
Yeah, personally, because I know they're two real ones and they're not bowing down. That could have got ugly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
funerals. And Joe runs with a lot of wild Spanish dudes who put some stitches on your face. And I ran into Fat Joe first after that, and I said, man, that was amazing that you guys made up. And he's like, man, it was just time. And then I saw 50 a week later out here doing the in-store for his F and Vodka, and I told him that I loved seeing that. And he's like, it was timing. And then he's like, I didn't know you introduced Joe to his wife, and it's, just like, those are real guys. And I'm not saying none of these other guys are real or fake.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, Meek is a real one. He's from the streets, and he got people around that will risk their life for him. And then Drake got soldiers. So at the end of the day, like, I'd rather just see not something happen because then someone's going to want him getting killed or go to jail. So, you say, let's go in the ring and just see the better man win or the better girl win or all this other stuff. All this Twitter shit is corny to me, but teach his own. I'm an old man, I guess. So I guess, everybody's infatuated with beef,
You're a dinosaur, but you're fossil fuel.
Yeah, but I'm fossil. I was on one of those beef tapes, the beef DVDs back in the day. I was on one of those talking about the beef when Bone Thugs had with Crucial Conflict and
That
Do or
was
Die and
crazy.
stuff like that. But I've been around so many real beefs that I was always on point. And any crew I was with ready on point because you never know, like the Bone Thugs and Dog Pound beef, the Death Row Ruthless beef, Fat Joe 50 beef.
Being around all of that, like how did you, or did you even take sides at that point? I mean, you're in one studio with one artist or a couple of artists, and in another studio session with another artist. Like, how did you take sides, or did you take sides?
It's the worst thing because I'm running with the person that I'm with, and at the end of the day, if we're all out one night and we're together, and then you happen just to leave us, and something happens, we're like, why'd you leave us? We come together, we leave together.
Yeah.
We come together, we leave together. But if we're all together and I get robbed, and if I get robbed and none of y'all help me, the next day you got to answer to everybody.
Right.
So today I'm not going to pick sides, but whoever I'm with, that means I'm probably working with them or family with them, so I'm riding with them. We ran to Cube at the tunnel. I'm with Eazy. I didn't really know Cube, so I'm riding with Eazy. If something happened, I'm not running.
Yeah.
I'm not hiding. I'm not built like that. You know what I mean? So, thank God none of these things happened.
Yeah.
But if it did, it did, and shit would have happened. But it didn't.
So, okay, just real quick, because before we move on, touching on the Straight Outta Compton stuff.
Yeah.
Just real briefly describe that atmosphere when they ran into each other. Just because a lot of people know that scene, but they don't know
People don't know about
But really, from your perspective,
POV.
Okay,
yeah.
so
From your POV, describe that.
So at that time, Eazy E and Ice Cube are not talking.
Right.
And no one's really talking in a way. And there's diss records,
Radio
so on and
silence.
so forth. But again, Eazy's got a label. He's an A&R, a marketing genius, a label head, and he's discovering artists. And Bone breaks, and he brings them to New York. Who knew we were going to run the Cube at the tunnel? But we ran in the Cube at the tunnel. And at the end of the day, they spoke.
Word.
Yeah, they spoke.
Yeah.
There was no negativity, but at that moment, you got to be on point because
Never
you
know.
never
Eazy's
know
a real
what's about
one,
to
and,
pop off.
and you never know what's going to pop off. And, he's in New York, so you don't know. So I'm with you. I'm like, all right, whatever's going to happen, is going to happen. Even if we got to get beat up, we're still rocking and rolling. And then they just spoke. And then all I remember, Eazy got in his, he said, I'm not going to get in a limo. I'm going to walk back to the hotel. He's wearing a flannel, Pendleton, West Coast type
He's
of
gonna
thing.
walked back to the...
Yeah, a lot of people, like even Lazy Bone come to New York Park. A lot of dudes want to walk in New York, man, and touch the city, instead of just jumping in a car service. So he said, I walked back to the hotel. It was freezing. He had 2 Samoan bodyguards, the twins, and he walked back to the hotel. I never seen him again. He caught pneumonia, they say, and he passed.
Do you believe? Okay, some way other shit, man. Because people talk about that they don't think that it was really pneumonia that Eazy passed from. You know what I'm saying? That somebody stuck him with the with the HIV needle. Just all these other things, man. From your perspective, what do you think took place? Do you believe the whole pneumonia thing? Do you believe like that somebody did that, or what's your take on that?
Only God knows. I can't really speak on. I wasn't there. None of us were there. But no one in his family has AIDS. So that's the only thing, I mean, I heard an interview that Suge said something, but I don't know. I don't know. Wasn't there, man. I can't speak on it.
Got you.
I wish I could. I wish I could tell you who killed Jam Master Jay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go. That would be that would probably be the first stopper
Right.
in the time machine. Okay, finish this sentence. Without Steve Lobel, blank wouldn't exist.
Man, that's
a lot of blanks right there. Right?
Just go, fill in the blanks.
Man, that's like shit, man.
I want names, labels.
If it wasn't for Steve Lobel, Notorious Thugs, Bone and Biggie wouldn't exist.
Yo, talk about that. Talk about that.
That's one of my favorite records.
Hardest one ever.
I'm in the Ramada Hotel on Santa Monica Boulevard. I think
out here.
Yeah, in L.A. Got a phone call from Fat Joe. Fat Joe said Puff's gonna call me. Puff called me. Said Big's in town. Wants to do a record with Bone at the record plant. I'm like, let me try to find these guys. They're young, wild, free. They hit records. It's 96, 97, 98, whatever that year was. Bone was popping, and started reaching out trying to find them. And they just all started rolling up to the studio.
One by one.
And and Biggie had all the weed and liquor, and that's the worst thing to have, but it's the right thing to have. And they came in and knocked that record out maybe 2 hours, maybe an hour.
No shit.
And the only one who didn't get on that record was Flesh and Wish was Biggie's man, but he was stuck in Cleveland. And then Stevie J did the beat from Love and Hip Hop for all you young
right, right.
Stevie J is part of the Hitman who produced so much stuff. Shout out my man Stevie J, a real one. And Little Caesar was in the studio and a bunch of Mo Thug artists and did the song at the record plant. And there's a lot of pictures on my Instagram from that session, which was amazing. And Big didn't finish it. And then obviously he must have finished it in New York, and he got killed. The record came out, I ran into Puff, and he's like, he went back to New York, wanted to really master the flow, and he killed it. If not, I would have shot a video, and it's probably one of the best collabs.
Yeah,
to this
one
day.
of the, not the best, but one of the top.
I
10
think that stapled hip hop in terms of this style can match this
with
style,
this style, hell
and they can come together and do this.
And then New York started loving Bone.
I think that to me is one of the best I've ever heard Biggie flip on some other shit. Like that's like probably the best song that I heard him do. Like I'm gonna flip my style and do this.
Yeah, he killed it. I like that question, man.
Let me ask you this.
Fill in the blanks.
And we're gonna probably ask you another one before we get back.
I love it. I had to think though. I didn't want to say something,
With you being from Queens, man, and there's a not even a running rumor. I mean, people would say that New York artists and New York media, just folks from New York, didn't really give a fuck about West Coast artists or just, artists from different areas. You know what I'm saying? What was your take on that? Being from Queens and kind of being, in the industry and moving from different city to different city, what was your take on the whole, not necessarily East Coast, West Coast beef, but just, being somebody from New York and not necessarily being appreciative? I don't know if that's not the right word.
Not appreciative, but
I get it.
Of artists.
I got common sense, which common sense is not common, but I got common sense. I get the question. I love it. You know what's so hard? Like New York guys, there's so many egos, and no one wants to support one another. Mm-hmm. And everybody's worrying about who's popping more bottles, who got the bigger car, got the bigger chain, the bigger mink coat. So that's why you don't see New York flourishing like it should be, like back in the day. Mm-hmm. How many artists are really breaking out in New York? Right. Come on, let's be real.
Right.
So, when I'm New York, so I'm listening, back then, BLS or Kiss FM, I'm hearing what's playing on the radio. But when I started traveling, then I started realizing, like, damn, the Ghetto Boys, Ball MJG,
out there,
Tupac or Digital Underground. So when you start traveling to different markets or different cities, you start exploring different music. And back then that's how you explore.
No internet, so you had to get out.
So I just feel like there should be always unity, but the West Coast, honestly, because of Nipsey, everybody's supporting each other, Bloods and Crips. But years and years ago, that didn't happen. Atlanta and Miami's always supporting each other.
Yeah.
New York really don't support each other. And that's why you don't see a lot of artists coming out of New York. I mean, maybe you see French Montana come from New York, but Troy Ave's trying to, but not many else.
Let me ask you this: do you think that is because that's the same with the West Coast?
With LA, I was just
so with Los Angeles, let's say New York City and the greater Los Angeles area, right, and surrounding areas or whatever. Because do you think it's because there's so many people, there's so many crabs in the barrel, or do you think it's because the market is so big and they're in competition with not only each other but the country?
Yeah, I mean the competition is a big thing, but I do feel like the West Coast does support each other because you'll have Nipsey on a track with YG, which you just played with 50. East Coast, a Blood and a Crip.
Yeah.
So back in the days, that wasn't happening.
Right.
So I just feel like, everybody should just unify. Everybody should help one another. Everybody should see people be successful. People just want to not see the next man successful or hate. You ever been in a circle and you bring someone with you or they bring you in and no one to introduce you and you stand there like an idiot?
Right.
What type of dude, like, hey, how I'm doing? That means I'm never going out with you again. You just trying not to let me meet anybody. You know what I mean? So that's what everybody just is backwards. They don't want to share. They don't want to help. It's all about giving. You give and you shall receive. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, it's funny, like we're talking about all this Kanye stuff. I'll give you a little gem. Like Kanye West's 30th birthday party in New York City, Louis Vuitton store. He rented it out. Mariah, Jay-Z, Jermaine Dupri, everybody and their mother was there. And you could Google it right now. I was speaking. I was in the Louis Vuitton store. I was talking to Common's manager, Derek Dudley, and Scott Storch's manager, Derek Jackson, and a shelf fell on my head. So I sued Kanye, I sued Def Jam, I sued Louis Vuitton, but Kanye even said, yo, sue. But I didn't sue them. I had to sue the party planner. But I got hit in the head by a shelf, laid there. The party planner was like, oh, he's drunk. I don't even drink. So when I got back and better, I came back to the store and spit in her face because I wasn't drunk. He just left me there. But they didn't want to call an ambulance or the police because they didn't want the party to be shut down. So then finally, Fat Joe and DMC saw me and sent security and they busted the door up and got me, called an ambulance and took me to the hospital.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so
That's
anybody
crazy.
who knows me will know that I repeat myself a lot and I have a short-term memory and they were like, damn, what's wrong with Steve? But that's from
That
the
was
head
based
injury.
off of that?
The head injury.
Wow.
So if you
I
Google-
didn't know that.
Yeah, if you Google Louis Vuitton, so yeah, Kanye's birthday 30th. So yo, Kanye, thanks for the check, man.
Man, good. And there's a lot of things that we can talk about, man. But before you get out of here, I definitely want to talk about the status to A to Z Entertainment. I mean, for the folks that don't know, this is your company, man. I mean, you do a lot of things from consulting to management,
Everything.
everything from the video series, the vlogs you got going on too, man. So talk about the status of A to Z Entertainment.
Yeah, well, A to Z Entertainment is, my label, and basically I do everything from A to Z. From publicity, I know that business, to radio, to touring, to agent, to A&R, to so on and so forth. There's so many aspects of the music industry that people don't know. Yeah. And then there's the business side. How many artists really know about publishing and royalties and having a lawyer and having a team? Together, everybody achieves more as a team. Then I have the We Working, which is, I do motivational speaking at juvenile halls, at high schools, at colleges, at drug rehabs. I'm doing a Phoenix House this Sunday. I'm bringing out Scott Storch, who was addicted to cocaine and cleaned himself up, and so on and so forth. I do a lot of consulting now. I'm trying to live life. I've put so much into this game, 30 years. I have my Live with Steve Lobel show, which I have everybody from J. Cole to Logic to Mustard to Nicki Diamonds. I just did Little Easy. I just did DJ Unique, who did all the Boneheads. I just did.
Is there a specific timeline on when that comes out?
It comes out. Yeah. We put them out and we go through Hip Hop DX.
Yeah, shout out to Hip Hop
But
DX.
my end game is to be the Johnny Carson, the Barbara Walters, the Jimmy Kimmel of hip-hop. I want to sit down and interview people because people can't front on me. They can't lie to me and bullshit me and give me the okie doke. So when I interview people, no disrespect to these other blogs, is that I don't talk about the beef, the negativity. I just want to bring the hip-hop culture out of you or your history of your career and so on. So we try to stay the positive stuff. We talk about balance in life. We talk about our mothers and fathers and family because you can get caught up in this life. And my mom passed and I regretted it because I spent so much time chasing the dream and neglected family. So we get deep. Especially at the schools. And I got a new artist named DJ Kiss, what a lot of people in LA know. He's a rapper, DJ. He's 12 now, and he's like a little Bow Wow Romeo, and he DJs. I'm involved with a lot of EDM stuff from Eva Shaw, Bass Jackers. I did some stuff with Afrojack. Still work with Bone Thugs. I got a girl named Joelle James with Rock Nation and Chris Brown. She's crazy. And I'm doing a lot of stuff at halftime shows, at football and basketball games, and national anthems, and I'm into a lot of stuff, and my end game is to be a sports agent as well, because I love sports.
Really?
So, I'm not stopping, man. I'm going to keep going and stuff until the wheels fall off.
So Super Bowl, who you got?
I just love football. It's my favorite sport. I want to see Peyton. I'm happy he got there. But, you know, we do a lot of business with the Carolina Panthers. This had B.O.B. do the halftime against Seattle Seahawks. I had Joel sing national anthem.
Business.
So I'm going with Carolina. I'm a New York Giants fan all day long.
Gotcha. So
I'm a New York Giants fan, New York Yankee fan, New York Ranger fan, New York Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Period.
Now you dibbled and dabbled a little bit in reality TV.
Yes, Millionaire Matchmaker.
Yes. Did you do you think you would ever go back into it?
Yeah, well, let me be real with you. Like, way before reality TV, to my leaders, we did a show called Missy Elliott Road to Stardom.
I remember that.
And I was the white Suge Knight, they called me. You know, people call me the white Russell Simmons, and I have Russell saying that, well, if he's the white Russell Simmons, the black Steve Lobel. But it was a great show. Rest in peace to Tina Marie. She was on the show. Jermaine Dupri. Yellow Wolf was on that show. Mona Scott is the one who created the show Missy, and we did that way before reality TV. We were on a major network. And then after that, I did a show called I Manage a Celebrity, which we showed managers behind the business, like Tyrese's manager, Akon's manager, myself, so on and so forth. Then I did Millionaire Matchmaker twice, and I brought hip-hop to it. The show, it's on Bravo. It's on to like the 9th season. And I'm looking for love. And I took the date to the Scratch Academy, the Jam Master Jay, and, you know, I got to think out the box. And I was going to be on Love and Hip Hop LA. Mona wanted me on there because of some politics. I wasn't on there. But I'm glad I wasn't, because none of those guys on there could really talk down to me, because like then it would be real problems. So, you know, I like what they're doing, but I couldn't do it. But I was going to do it. I'm working on a few things. I got some tricks on my sleeve. I do executive produce a lot of reality shows, and I come up with concepts that have nothing to do with music. There's so many great shows out there that have nothing to do with music. It could be cleaning horse manure or building houses. So I'm involved with stuff like that. I'm working on a crazy reality show, different stuff, and I'm involved with a gluten-free bakery. And on New York, you know, a lot of people have diseases and stuff, straight sweets and stuff.
Are you able to eat gluten?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good, but a lot of people can't. I just dip into, I do a little real estate stuff. I invest my money right. And I'm just living life, to be honest with you.
You mentioned your mom passing, man, and condolences, but it's you still push the we working brand, like we working. What's the message now that you understand the time is of the essence, but you still got to put that work in?
Well, the message is that life is short, nothing's guaranteed, no one's perfect, only God could judge. But, you know, patience and sacrifice equals success, and that you got to work. You know, when you work hard, look, everybody here has worked hard and still working hard, probably taking time away from their children or their family or so on and so forth. But you got to work hard. Hard work pays off. And if you want nice things in life, you have to work hard, no matter what it is. But the music industry got to work even harder.
Hell yeah.
And this Rolex and my Mercedes and my house and money does not make me. What makes me is my soul and my mind and my integrity. And, you know, you got a lot of people just will get $1 million check, put a chain around their neck, jump in a Bentley, and they think they gangster or they think they tough. Like, and that's, money doesn't buy that type of stuff. So money doesn't buy love, money doesn't buy happiness, money doesn't even buy loyalty and integrity. But I just push positivity, even though I deal with a lot of negative stuff. And just like, you get what you put into it. So whatever you're trying to be in life, just work hard, man. Everybody got to work hard. If you're going to sit around just thinking to win the lotto, or you're just going to press a button and you're going to have 1 million followers and you're going to be the shit, you're going to be on the radio. It's never happening. It's like going to Vegas and just fucking rolling the dice. And it's not happening. So get out there and work your ass off, work hard, and keep your integrity, keep your loyalty, and handle your business.
That was some real shit.
We working.
You a positive person, man.
Very positive, but I deal with a lot of negativity.
I was about to say, is that
the problem?
Is that the reason why you don't smile as much?
I never smile.
We've been doing this interview for almost an hour. I've maybe seen a half of a crack.
I seen a full one. I seen a full one.
You know, like,
hey, tickle this nigga.
What is that about? Even in your pictures, look, if y'all go look at his Instagram right now at We Working, go check out Steve. Go check out Steve.
No, the picture that we have for him, the first one, he was like, come on.
No, you know what?
Pictures from 15 years ago.
You know, we just went deep on the Instagram. You're right. And it's like, I don't know. And you know what? We should smile every day.
I was about to say, can we on our recap?
I'm gonna give you a smile.
Can we get
I'm gonna give you a smile. But you know what? We should smile. And you know, I am truly blessed because I drive around, I travel, and I see people in third world countries sleeping on the floor. I go to New York or LA, people are homeless. And we are truly blessed. We have no health issues. We're not handicapped, and we have food on the table. We got a bunch of sweets, and we're blessed. You know, seriously, like we take life for granted.
Yes, we do.
I appreciate $1. I appreciate this conversation. I'd rather stay here all night than go anywhere else.
Appreciate that.
But I don't know. Like I should be smiling. I should be happy. I don't think I ever was happy in my life. You know, I've been through a lot of death. I've been through a lot of stuff, and But like I said, I'm very humble. I don't forget where I come from, but I should have a lot to smile about. But I just don't smile for some reason, man. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
We're gonna get to the bottom of that.
Remember, I need one of those whitening things to whiten my teeth. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Like it's weird. I don't know.
There's just a couple of questions.
I'm giving you guys a fucking smile tonight.
We appreciate that, man. Now we did say this. We teased it earlier, and there's a lot of artists that are listening right now that want to know, like, what do you listen for? What do you look for new artists? What's that thing? I mean, for you, and then generally speaking, what do new artists have to do? I mean, we spoke on originality, be yourself, and that's great. But for you, what do you actually listen for when you listen to new music?
Well, I'm gonna step into this question. What I listen to first, but I like listen to old R&B, like Jodeci and Keith Sweat, Luther Vandross.
Are you married?
No, I'm not married. Gotcha. No children. It's hard. I have no balance in my life. I stay on the road. I've traveled so much. I don't trust. I go home to a big lonely house.
That's actually
I choose to. Because no one was shooting in the gym with me, so I don't know. I'm a street dude, so I don't know their motive. I don't know why they want to be with me. So I'm thinking about adopting a child. I think I'd be a great father, and we need that. A lot of DMC was adopted. Yeah, I'm a real one, man. I'm not cocky. I'm confident, but I like to listen to old R&B music, old rap music. I love substance. I like Bruno Mars, Alicia Keys, J. Cole, so on and so forth. But what do I look in an artist? I would say a decade ago, it could have been like the music, but now you have to look at the music, the personality, really dig deep with the integrity. The integrity, the loyalty, definitely the work ethic, because I'm out working you and I'm 50.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Seriously, like it's like you're tired. What? Like I sleep 4 hours a day, and I could sleep 10. Yeah. I could be in Hawaii right now drinking virgin pina coladas, chilling, but I choose not to. So nowadays you have to have, but I like someone who's unique, something who's out the box, different. And like I said, I've been involved with Man from West LA. I had the big record with Buzzin'. I was involved with Ayers from the Virgin Islands, Sean Kingston, Nipsey Hussle, Soulja Boy, Ty Dolla in the early stages, YG in the early stages. DJ Mustard used to be Man's DJ. I've seen it all. But at the end of the day, like, I didn't manage certain people. I didn't sign certain people, but I consulted or helped or directed in certain things. But these days, I'm not even trying to look for new artists because I get flooded with artists, but nothing is like stepping out to make it look different. So I say again and again, I run around with a little kid, DJ Kiss, since he's 8 years old, and I just think that, we're developing him, but there's no Bauer, there's no Romeo. All the brands are paying us to rock his stuff because it's corporate and it's positivity. And he's going to be one of the biggest EDM, youngest DJs in the world by this year. I'm going to put out some music. We have a lot of great songs. And I'm pushing that, just like I push a line with Nipsey or Sean Kingston when no one believed. I'm a fucking leader, not a follower.
Hello.
So all you industry people out there that are scared to make moves because you're scared about your 401k or your health insurance or lose your job or a steady check, grab your dick and your balls and be a man.
And your titties.
And fucking be innovative and take the lead, man. And don't let this game suffer, because this game is suffering. This culture is suffering. Hip-hop music business is suffering because you're not trying to take chances and you're just sitting behind your desk, man. Like, hit the streets, go in the clubs, go in the studios, and really live the culture. Don't just live the culture for a check. You know what I mean? Because I get deep. I'm writing a book. I'm not a snitch. I'm not going to call out names, but shit is real with me because, like, I'm not getting like upset or griping. I just don't like fake shit.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the book that you're going to...
No, hell yeah. Tell
us about the book.
Yeah, the book.
I mean, the book is going to be called The Coach Lasts Longer Than the Player, because I feel like the coach lasts longer than the player. I mean, you could just go into basketball. How many basketball players become a coach? Not many. Mark Jackson needs a fucking coach, the New York Knicks or the Cleveland fucking Cavaliers. Mark Jackson won a great coach and obviously, got fired from the Golden State. But how many players really become coaches?
Yeah.
Right.
So I've seen artists come and go, but I'm still here. And I might not have the hottest artist right now. I might not have the biggest record on the radio right now, but I'm still getting it, so to speak. I'm still getting mailbox money. I'm still interviewing hot artists. I'm still shaking and baking. I'm still looking good. I'm still moving around. So I don't need to have a hot artist or hot song at the radio at the moment to still be around. I have my respect, which is priceless.
Yeah.
Now you got a quote, and I love this, man. Money comes and goes, but history stays.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, because... Look, any real person knows that you're gonna make money or lose money. Every success you have to fail first. We all failed from the best of them, you know. And if you say you never failed, you're full of shit.
Right.
Anybody in the streets take a loss or get jacked or lose some work or whatever. Or sometimes you lose money in the music industry or any business, you know, and then you learn from your mistakes. So
what was the biggest hit that you took? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I would say money come and go, history stays. Meaning, if money will come and go, but as long as you keep making history, the money's gonna come. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
And you know that's just something that I say. Money come and go, and money comes and goes, but history stays. But my biggest loss was like I did a lot of real estate in Omaha, Nebraska, and I was killing it. It was like shipping work out of town, you know. And,
no, I don't know.
I was going on. I don't know either.
Tell us.
I know.
I was going to Omaha, Nebraska, and buying apartment buildings and with, you know, flipping them and renting them out, and it was great. And then I neglected it, and the person running it, you know, wasn't taking care of it like I was, you know. And in anything in life, you have to do it yourself, so to speak, even though you have a team. And, you know, I took a loss. But like I said, any real businessman or any hustler is going to take a loss, you know. So failure equals success.
Now, Steve Lobel, 2016, what would you tell the Steve Lobel that was getting into the industry, the game, or whatever you want to call it in the early 80s?
If you're an artist...
No.
Or just anything in
general?
general?
What would you tell you?
Right. What I would tell me, first of all, family first. Balance. Because I had no balance. It was all work. And I missed out on a lot of things. Balance and family. And that money certainly does not buy love and happiness.
Gotcha.
Word.
Now, final thing, man. We always end with this, man. The year can't end without Steve Lobel doing what?
Having a child.
Word.
Boom.
I mean, someone might want me to say something else, but that just comes from my heart. I got to come from what comes off in my gut, in my heart. You know, it's having a child and be a father.
That's love.
Shit.
That's
older,
love.
you know, my dad just
Yes.
turned 82, and I want to see him being a grandfather. I lost my mom. You know, I lost my brother. So, you know, I just, you know, that's what comes to me.
Family first.
Legacy.
Love. Yeah.
Because blood is thicker than water, to be honest with you, and like your family, regardless, will always be there. So if you got a mother and father alive, or a brother and sister, and you're beefing with them or not talking to them because you're upset or something, like at the end of the day, that's your blood. So go call them, tell them you love them, hug them, kiss them, like, you know, deal with it, because they are your family at the end of the day. And when shit hits the fan, that's who's really there for you.